Well, you guys, even though it seems like they took the most difficult path possible to get where they're sitting right now, the Boston Celtics have made their way to the NBA Finals. And of course, with finally locking in a finals matchup between the Boston Celtics and the Golden State Warriors, I mean, I'm sure you guys knew that we absolutely needed to dive into this matchup and get a preview of what is going to come in the near future. And while we've already had a fair amount of discussion so far this postseason regarding Golden State, we definitely haven't talked about Boston as much, and I absolutely love that for the sake of this video, because from every single little detail that we have witnessed from the Boston Celtics throughout the first 3 series of this postseason, there might just lie the perfect game plan that is needed to take down the Golden State Warriors. One sec though guys, if you haven't yet, don't forget to like the video if you do enjoy, subscribe, and turn on those notifications to never miss another NBA video. Love you guys. And for any of you that do, believe me, I appreciate you more than anything, because according to my numbers, over 95% of you guys coming back to watch the content haven't even subscribed yet. So again, I just wanted to say thank you so much. But either way, let's get back into this finals matchup, which honestly, I am going to be continually going back and forth between who I have making it out as champions. And possibly my favorite part about this matchup is that if you are a fan of the defense wins championships narrative, this series is quite literally the definition of that quote, as both Golden State and Boston had the best defensive ratings out of any team in this postseason, with the Celtics having the best at a 105.1 rating. And again, it's very clear through watching each and every series that Boston has participated in that there are multiple pillars of this defense that make it so unbeatable no matter what situation is thrown at them. And with a series against Golden State, it's clear that the biggest pillar that's going to be showcased constantly is their ability to switch almost any given matchup. I mean, yes, I'm sure most of you knew that this characteristic was one of the biggest reasons as to why this defense is so historic, but if the Celtics are able to execute this as well as they have all season, it might just be the deciding factor if they're walking away 3 weeks from now with the Larry O'Brien trophy. And for a quick example of how this is going to be such a major asset, when we take a look at the 4 main scorers of the Golden State Warriors now in Stephen Curry, Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, and Andrew Wiggins. And Celtics fans, please correct me if I'm wrong, but in terms of switching matchups due to Golden State's constant off-ball movement in their offense, I mean, I really think that Boston has 6 out of their top 9 or 10 rotational players that can guard almost anyone that Golden State throws out there. And don't get me wrong, I am not saying that Boston is going to absolutely clamp down on the Warriors. I mean, there is a reason that they've made it this far, but in terms of seeing what Golden State has abused the most so far this postseason in order to get success, Boston might just have the answer, and if not, the best defense to it out of anybody that might have been standing in the Warriors' way. But also, I mean, switching in itself is definitely not the only thing we're going to be talking about, because aside from this, one of their other pillars on defense that has contributed profoundly to their defensive success, which sometimes seems like an impossible combo with their switching, is their size and how much of an advantage it can be used for against Golden State. And of course, this conversation could absolutely go both ways with how Golden State has their own small ball advantages compared to Boston's big advantages, but if we just stop for a second and take a look at the size differential between the potential starting fives of Game 1 between both Golden State and Boston, some people might not think it's anything crazy, but I can definitely tell you right now that Boston is going to do everything in their power to use this for an interior advantage, which we all assumed, but also for a perimeter advantage. And to explain this from an inside perspective, I think it's very clear when comparing rosters that Boston definitely just has the clear-cut advantage here, even with Kevon Looney and Draymond Green showing that Golden State has more of an inside presence than many people believe. There's honestly not much to discuss here. But back to a perimeter perspective, if Boston gets Golden State to adapt in the same process of switching a lot of outside screens, the height advantage of Boston is only gonna show that more, specifically within the shot creation and offense of Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum. And the craziest part about all of this for the Boston Celtics is that we might see them continually switch back and forth between which of these focuses are working best for them at that given time. Because as all of you know, with the multiple injuries and different matchups the Celtics have faced so far in the 2022 postseason, we have seen 2 major major iterations of different starting fives that I honestly feel like we are going to see both again at one point or another in this finals. And of course, the biggest differences in these rotations are going big and bold in the middle with both Al Horford and Robert Williams, and then there's also the option for Rob Will to come off the bench to accommodate for a more small ball type of lineup that Golden State might throw out there. And personally, you guys, I absolutely love watching defensive excellence, especially at the highest level. So with what we're potentially going to see, not only from Boston's perspective, but from Golden State's as well, this might just be, at least I'm hoping, one of the more entertaining NBA finals that we have seen in a very, very long time. But in terms of actually climbing the hill and making their way to being crowned as NBA champions, there's undeniably one more area about this team that we cannot go without discussing, and it is the question of if the Celtics are going to be able to overcome their flaws, or at least outplay them enough throughout the entire series. Because let's be real, you guys, I mean, we all know that every single team has their flaws, and Celtics fans, your team's flaws have probably put you on edge for the last couple of weeks. But in terms of outplaying them or even diminishing them, one of the biggest ones that we have to bring up has been their turnovers over the last couple of series. And this honestly just depends on the game. I mean, I feel like some games the Celtics have 5 turnovers total, and then the next game they have 5 turnovers in the first half of the first quarter, and it's all downhill from there. And now going up against the second best defense in the entire league, it's not going to get any easier, but it's just going to come down to if they can turn the ball over less than their opponent. But also, you guys, and this one has been something that we have discussed continually over the course of this entire season, and this is their ability to close out games, or should I say lack thereof. I mean, Celtics fans, I truly do feel for you, as I've continually watched the almost blown leads and the blown leads throughout this entire season. When you think it's finally changed, it hasn't, as it almost costed you guys Game 7 of your ticket to the NBA Finals. It makes its way back every now and then. Let's just hope from this situation they have finally learned how to grow from it. I don't know, you guys. I mean, again, you can look at it from either perspective, how there's going to be major advantages and major flaws as well going into this anticipated finals. But ultimately, it seems like both teams have a pretty adequate blueprint as to how they are going to be able to walk away as NBA champions. But it's just going to come down to who executes and who adjusts more. But anyway, you guys, that is enough talking out of me. I now want to hear what you all have to think about the Boston Celtics situation. So please let me know in the comments what you think the Celtics' biggest advantage is going to be going into this series, and also, of course, who you have winning and in how many games. But also, you guys, again, if you haven't yet, don't forget to go down below and leave a like on the video if you did enjoy, and of course, subscribe while you're down there. We're coming out with brand new NBA videos every single week around here. I'm going to be covering the finals as much as I possibly can over the next couple of weeks, so believe me when I say it, you do not want to miss out. But also, I just wanted to say thank you so much to each and every one of you for watching. I appreciate all of you more than anything. You all know this, and I will see you guys in the next video.